Yisimech Elohim, Kesora Rivka Rachel v'Leah. Yisimech Elohim, Kesora Rivka Rachel v'Leah. Yisimech Elohim, Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah. Yisimech Elohim, Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah. Yivarech Lecha Hashem
Wow, wasn't that beautiful? B'Vorach, Shavua Tov, Mazel Tov, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us for Leora's Bat Mitzvah. I'm delighted to welcome you as we celebrate this wonderful, wonderful Simcha. Leora, this evening we're celebrating your Bat Mitzvah as Shabbos has just ended, and we're going to begin by making Havdalah. And it's so appropriate to have your Bat Mitzvah together with Havdalah, because as you know, Havdalah marks a transition. We move from the holiness of Shabbos into the normality of the beginning of a new week. And becoming Bat Mitzvah is also a transition. We celebrate you moving from being a child to becoming a Jewish woman. And just as we mark the beginning of a new week, so too we're celebrating a new phase, a new beginning in the start of your life. And what's exciting about it, like the beginning of a new week, is the possibilities that lay before you, your dreams and your aspirations for the future, and the great potential that we all see in you. So I'm delighted to ask your grandfather, Frank, to make Havdalah for us. Frank, it's over to you.
Eftach v'lo echad, ki azim zimrat yav Adonai, na'yili lishua, ushavtem mayim b'sason, mimayin Yeshua, l'Adonai Yeshua, Alamecha b'chotecha sela, Adonai tzvaot imanu, miskav lanu Eloi Yaakov sela, Adonai tzvaot ashrei adam boteach bach, Adonai Hoshia Melech Yaneinu v'Yom Koreinu LaYehudim Ha'yetza Ora b'simcha v'sason v'ikar kein tiyeh lanu kos yeshuotesa uv'shem Adonai ekra Lie, 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 na, 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 lie, 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 na, 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 lie, lie, na, lie. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, melech haolam. Yadai, na, 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 borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Lie, lie, la, 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 lie, 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 la, 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 lie, 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 la, 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 lie. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, melech haolam. Na 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 borei minei besamim.
Amen.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, melech haolam. La 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 borei meorei ha'esh. La 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, melech haolam, hamavdil bein kodesh l'chol, bein or l'choshech, bein Yisrael amim, bein yom hashvi, לששת ימי המעשה. ברוך אתה אדוני, המבדיל בין קודש לחול.
Thank you for joining us this evening to celebrate Leora's bat mitzvah. We always envisaged a casual dress code, so we are just glad Corona has enabled most of you to watch in your pajamas. Speaking of pajamas, we wanted to say a special thank you to Leora's Israeli cousins, Yishai, Michal, Sophia, Ayelet, Ora, and Noah, for staying up late to tune in and be part of the Simcha tonight.
We also want to thank everyone at BES for making this celebration possible. Thanks in advance to Rabbi Chapper for what I'm sure will be kind words, and of course to Louise and Josh for just being amazing. I've obviously been aware of the feedback from Simcha families, but it's only when you experience it yourself and appreciate just how much love and care you both put into making each Simcha unique and special.
Finally, a big thank you to Abigail for giving up so much of your time to help Leora learn and prepare her Dvar Torah. It can't replace seeing you in real life, but we know Leora has loved spending so much time with you over the past few months. So, now a little about Leora.
On the 3rd of the 3rd, 2009, at a little after 3 p.m, our lives changed forever as we became parents and Leora was born. Little did we know that even then, her personality would shine through. The symmetry of her date of birth signalling a lifelong love of all things mathematical and patterns. The fact it took her a few days to arrive, signposting that she can do anything she wants, as long as she is ready and happy to do it. The only thing missing was a football for her to kick.
Leora, we are so proud of the person you are. So kind, loyal, hardworking, just and honest. You have taught us so much.
After all, without you, I wouldn't have a clue what a fronted adverbial was.
And I wouldn't have a clue what being megged means. You have already outstripped our combined academic and sporting awards, and we know you will continue to excel in anything you put your mind to.
When discussing football a few months ago, Leora, you told me you always prefer to create a perfect goal than score yourself. Having watched you play for pro futsal, I can see that this is indeed true. But I've also seen that when you find the goal in front of you, you have the strength of character to go for it yourself, sometimes even smashing it into the top corner. So I hope you will forgive us using a football metaphor to express our hopes for you as you grow up.
We hope you will always have the empathy to know your role in a team to find that killer pass and make things happen for others around you and in the world. But we also hope you will have the inner strength to achieve your own ambitions, scoring spectacular goals both on and off the pitch.
This next bit isn't on Deborah's script. Leora, Your entire life you have been described as Mum's mini-me. I'm not sure you've ever realised how much of a compliment and a challenge that is. Deborah, you are the most incredible person I have ever met. Truly beautiful on the inside and of course the outside as well. If Leora grows up to be half the person you are, she will be very lucky. I love you. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for. I will hand over to Leora for her Devar Torah.
Before I start, I would like to say a few short thank yous. Firstly, to Auntie Abby for giving up so much of your time to help me prepare for my Devar Torah. I have loved learning with you. Thank you also to Grandpa for your beautiful Havdalah, and to Mum and Dad for making this weekend so special despite lockdown. For my Bat Mitzvah, I chose to learn about the meaning of my name and what I can learn from it. As you probably already know, my name is Leora, which means my light. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to talk about some of the different ways light is spoken about in the Torah and the messages we can learn. The first time we learn about light is in the story of creation, right at the beginning of Bereshit. In fact, in Bereshit, we learn about two different types of light. Perek Aleph Pasuk Gimel, which talks about the first day of creation, says, Vayomer Elokim Yehi Or Vayehi Or. Hashem said, let there be light, and there was light. Sfat Emet explains that this was a spiritual light, the light of the goodness that shows the directions of how to be a good person. Whereas on day 4 of creation it says, Vayomer Elokim Yehi Me'orot, and Hashem said, let there be light. This is the physical light, the sun, the moon, and the stars. By creating these two forms of light, Hashem is teaching us that to make something good, it needs to be brilliant, both spiritually and physically, good on both the inside and the outside. Light also plays a big role in Shabbat. At the beginning of Shabbat, we light 2 candles, but why 2? Shabbat is one of the 10 commandments which are written in the Torah twice. The first time we are told, Zachor et Yom HaShabbat lekadshah, remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. And the second time we are told, Shamor et Yom HaShabbat lekadshah, keep the Shabbat day to keep it holy. Shamor reminds us to keep the laws, the do's and the don'ts of Shabbat. Zachor, on the other hand, teaches us to remember that Hashem created Shabbat. Shabbat was created to give us a chance to have a day to focus on our relationship and connection with Hashem. The light from this Shabbat candle can be connected to the spiritual light I spoke about earlier, as we want Hashem to guide us to do the right thing. The connection between light and Shabbat doesn't end there. Adam HaRishon, the first human, actually started the custom of Havdalah, and we have been lighting the Havdalah candle ever since to mark the end of Shabbat. One of the Pesukim we say every week in Havdalah is actually taken from Megillat Esther, which we read yesterday on Purim. In Chapter 8, Pasuk 16, we read, La Yehidim Haita Ora V'Simcha B'Sason V'Ka, which means the Jews had light, happiness, joy, and honor. This pasuk describes how the Jewish people felt when they were saved from Haman. It's easy to understand why the Jewish people felt happiness, joy, and honor at this time, but it's not so easy to understand why we are told they had light. It's not like the Purim story took place in the dark. The Sfat Emet explains that this light refers to the Torah. At the time of the Purim story, the Jewish people had lost their connection with Hashem. They were keeping the laws of the Torah and practicing Judaism, but they had forgotten why they were doing it and what Hashem meant to them. Esther asked them to fast with her for 3 days before she went to see Achashverosh, so they would have time to reflect and rebuild their connection with Hashem. They needed to remember that Hashem was the real one in control, not Achashverosh. Before this point in the story, the Jewish people could only appreciate the physical light, the sun. But now, in light of the experiences they had been through, they saw the true light, the spiritual light of Hashem, which guides everything in the world. So, while on the surface, the Purim story is about Hashem saving the Jewish people from physical destruction, it is also very much about the re-establishment of the Jewish people's relationship with Hashem. The Jewish people gained a new appreciation of their connection with Hashem. They became enlightened. If it wasn't for coronavirus and we were in shul today, we would have read the parasha of Tetzaveh, where we learn about the Ner Tamid in the Mishkan, the everlasting light, which was to remind us that Hashem is always there. In fact, even today, in every shul across the globe, there is a Ner Tamid in front of the ark. But there is a deeper meaning to the idea of Ner Tamid, which I think is incredibly relevant to me as I become Bat Mitzvah. Each of us has a responsibility to bring light into the world and use our skills to make it brighter and better, just like Esther did in the Purim story. I hope in time I will be able to follow the example of my parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents to make a meaningful contribution to the world and the community I belong to. On another level, as my name suggests, I must strive to create my light, both spiritually and physically. Spiritually, I hope my connection to Hashem helps me to make the right choices as I grow up. Physically, I hope to fulfill my own goals in life and achieve things I am passionate about. Together, they make my own personal Ner Tamid, the light of our vision. So let me conclude by telling you a few of the things I hope to achieve. Firstly, as you may well know, I am football mad. Playing with my friends at Pro Futsal gives me such a sense of satisfaction. And while we are a good team, I hope I can help the team to go on to win lots of trophies. My dad would also want me to hope that Arsenal win the Champions League, but that may need a miracle as big as the Purim story. I hope in life I can be a good and just person, a loyal friend, caring daughter, and a positive influence on others. I hope to always be kind, compassionate, and sensitive as I continue working to achieve my potential in life. Of course, I also hope this pandemic is over quickly and we can go to Israel to be reunited with my family, who I miss so much. As I set about achieving these aims, I will remember the significance of light and how it represents the way Hashem created and influences the world around me, and how he continues to guide me on both my spiritual and physical journeys. Thank you for joining me at my Bat Mitzvah. Shabbat Tov.
Leora, Mazel Tov, that was a fantastic Devar Torah, and I'm delighted to ask your mum and dad to make a special bracha to you on this occasion.
Yisimech Elohim Nesara Rivka Rachel Leah, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'eh Adonai panav elecha v'yichoneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yaseh b'necha shalom.
Amen. Amen. Mazel Tov. Leora, Mazel Tov to you on your Bat Mitzvah. Mazel Tov to your dear parents. Mazel Tov to you, Deborah and Simon, and to your grandparents, and the Yashakoyach to your grandpa Frank for a beautiful Havdalah. Mazel Tov also to your great-grandparents, Rita and Jack Weinberg, and to your relatives and friends in Israel and in the UK. Leora, your family have so many reasons to be proud of you, and I hope you know just how much nachas they shed from you today. This, as you said, this might not have been exactly the Bat Mitzvah you've been planning, but this virtual Bat Mitzvah is very much a simcha, as you are now continuing the tradition of those great Jewish women of the past who faced whatever life threw at them with courage and positivity. Your Devar Torah was simply superb. And it's clear to see for all of us, you clearly enjoyed learning and preparing it with your Auntie Abby. You spoke so eloquently and with such confidence. And it's clear, as you do with other things, that you've taken preparing to become Bat Mitzvah very seriously. I loved how you chose to link the meaning of your name and to share with us the important connections to light that we find throughout the Torah, from creation to Shabbos candles and, of course, Havdalah, but also Purim and the Ner Tamid. And you did a great job in connecting them all together. And I must say, for want of a better word, it was very illuminating. Now, as you quite rightly pointed out, there's a connection between Havdalah and Purim. As we use that verse, La Yehudim Hayasa'ora, the Jews have light. We use that verse referring to light that comes from the Megillah. Now, Leora, I'd like to first point out that verse, La Yehudim Hayasa Ora, if you take the beginning of the word La Yehudim, the Lamed and the Yud, and then Ora, you actually have your name, Li Ora, my light. But I'd also like to point to another aspect of the Megillah, which is particularly relevant to you now that you are Bat Mitzvah. You see, the Megillah takes its name from the heroine of the story, Esther. Shy and quiet to begin with, there's a pivotal moment when all of that changes. You see, when Mordechai discovers Haman's plan to annihilate the Jews, he instructs Esther to plead with the king on behalf of us all. Now, Esther is very much the reluctant leader, and when she demurs, Mordechai tells her that she can't keep quiet, and he encourages her by saying, Umi odea, who knows? Perhaps you attained your royal position for just this moment. Now, what did Mordechai mean? Well, even Ezra explains that he was saying to her, maybe, just maybe, you were destined for this role, to be in the right place at the right time, and that's why you had to act now. And it's these words that spur Esther into action. Without a second thought for herself, she leads the Jewish people's fight back against Haman's evil decree, pleads for the whole of the Jewish people, and the rest, as they say, is history. It's an amazing and inspirational story. Leora, everyone knows how sporty you are and how much you love football. Football mad, I think you said. So again, I'll also use an analogy that I think you'll understand. This whole thing with Esther, it's like a team who are 1-0 down with only 5 minutes to go before the end of the game. And all of a sudden, they start really going for it, doing everything they can to score an equalizer. It's as if they suddenly realize why they're on the pitch and what they've been meant to be doing for the previous 85 minutes. And if you score, then you're a hero. Why? Because what did you do when you found yourself in that scoring position? You didn't think about it. You didn't think twice. You just did what comes naturally. So, Leora, I say to you, let this be your attitude towards Judaism. Whenever you have an opportunity to do a mitzvah or chesed, kindness for other people, don't think twice about it. Just do it. Score that goal, and you'll be the hero. And remember Mordechai's words. Umi odea. Who knows? Perhaps you were given that chance. You have the energy, the time for that very reason. Because through God's infinite kindness, every day we're given new opportunities to increase our Jewish knowledge, to do mitzvahs and show chesed, to show kindness to others. And we can't waste them. As Thomas Edison said, opportunity is missed by most people because it's dressed in overalls and looks like work. We can't view it like that. We have to take those opportunities and we can't waste them. And Leora, I'm sure you understand this because not only are you sporty, but you're also kind and caring. You've been brought up in a loving and supportive home, surrounded by a family that values the important things in life. And your parents set such a good example for you of this principle. They're not ones to say, we'll let someone else do it. Instead, they step up and they take on the responsibility. If I can use one more sporting analogy, your parents' names are always the first ones on the team sheet. We can always rely on them. And yet so often, what they do is undervalued. They're not given as much credit as they should be for what they do. But I know firsthand how much time, effort, dedication, and commitment that they show to our community. Sometimes it's hard to believe that they even have full-time jobs. Deborah, Simon, I'm constantly inspired by the amount of work that you put in. We're in awe of what you do, and as a community, we can never thank you enough for everything that you do. May your reward be as those who are Osek with Sarki Tzibor involved in the needs of the community. And I say to you, Hashem should bless the work of your hands. And you should enjoy much nachas and simcha from Leora, because you have every right to be proud of her. She is a real credit to you both. Leora, you spoke about working to achieve your potential in life, and as your name suggests, striving to create your own light, both spiritually and physically, with Hashem guiding you on your journey. And so at this moment, I say to you, throughout your life, remember the attitude that turned Esther into a hero, and take all the opportunities that you're given. And as we see in the Megillah, Esther repeatedly said, if I find favor in God's eyes, and if God pleases God, then then grant my wish and accede to my request. May God always grant your wishes, accede to your requests. May you always find favor in God's eyes and do everything that pleases God. And your light will certainly shine very brightly. And you will be a source of great nachas to your parents, to your grandparents and family, to our community, and ultimately to God himself. Mazel Tov.
Thank you.
Now I'm delighted to make a special Mishiberach on the occasion of your bat mitzvah. Mishiberach Avosenu Abraham Yitzchak Yaakov Yivarech Es HaBachor HaBas Mitzvah Lior Bas Shimon Aaron Shemalu Loya Shetem Esrei Shavi Yigel Mitzvahs Harish Baruch Yishmereh V'Yatzileh Mikol Tzartzka Mikol Negu Machala V'Yasem B'Liba Avasoi V'Irasoi V'Lasoi Z'Rusoinu Lovda B'Levav Shalem Kol HaYamim V'Noma Amen. May he who blessed our fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob bless the bat mitzvah Leora Mitchell, who has attained her 12th birthday and reached the age before mitzvahs. May the Holy One, blessed be he, protect her, save her from all trouble and distress, from every plague, virus, and disease. May implant in her heart the desire to love and revere him, the desire to do his will with a perfect heart throughout her life. And let us say, Amen. Mazel Tov, Leora. I'm delighted to present you with your bat mitzvah certificate.
Presented to Leora Mitchell, Leora Yael Bat Shimon Aharon on the occasion of her bat mitzvah, 16th of Adar 5781, 27th of February 2021, at home in partnership with Bournemouth and Elstree.
Mazel Tov!
Simon Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simon Tov. Simon Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simon Tov. Simon Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simon Tov. Yeah, hey Lanu. Simon Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simon Tov. Simon Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simon Tov. Simon Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simon Tov. Yeah, hey Lanu.